Hello my fellow miner. Today we're going to have a look at Gminer version 2.82 and a change from 2.81 that makes it a lot easier to set up in HiveOS. First up is the interesting change in 2.82, fixed incorrect displaying of TONCOIN hash rates in dual mining on LHR GPUs, and this is actually quite a big deal, which you will of course see by the end of the video. Next up is the way that you actually add the dual algo. You use the parameter --d algo and then ton. That way if you're a HiveOS user you actually don't have to edit any files, which I forgot to include in my video anyway last time. Sorry about that. And now that I've apologized for that, I would also like to apologize for me not being active in the comment sections right now. And that is simply due to first me being sick, so I am so much behind, it is completely crazy. Also behind at work, so I am working a lot more than I used to, while also trying to survive my kids in Super Mario 3D worlds where they, whenever they get the chance, throw me over or try to kill me. It is not that I don't appreciate your comment, I actually do a lot. Now let's move on and get into the graphic cards introduction. Quickly moving on like a ninja, we're going to have a look at the RTX 3050 from MSI, the Ventus 2X, the RTX 3060 LHR version 2 from Zotac Gaming. It has been working perfectly, in very good quality to be honest. The RTX 3060 Ti from Asus, their TOF series. No, that is actually the wrong picture. There, now we have the right one. The graphic card comes with 2 balls of steel in each fan. Military grade. Yes, a piano was dropped on my head as a kid, so I am legally excused. We also have the MSI Venture 3, which is also an RTX 3060 Ti. Rocking HYNIX Rev, but this time it's a revision 2, and that means it can actually clock up to 1700 in Windows or 3400 in HiveOS. This very nice card is super slim and super noisy. Then we have the RTX 3070 iChill 4X from Inno3D. It's actually surprisingly good. The quality is top notch, I have not changed anything. It's super cool actually. And then of course it comes with lots of RGBs that you cannot turn off via the software because the software part sucks. But it doesn't matter because more RGBs, more mega hash. Up next we have the RTX 3070 Ti from Zotac Gaming, also known as the DIY 3070 Ti because it drops thermal padding and comes with screws that have fallen out. I actually expected the quality to be on par with their RTX 3060. Oh boy was I wrong, what a pile of poop. And then we have the RTX 3080 LHR from GB Vision Overclock Revision 2. It's actually quite good looking, but I wish you could get it in black brushed metal instead, even though it doesn't really matter because it's part of my mining rig and I never see it. The RTX 3080 12GB RAM edition from GB, the Gaming Overclock LHR Extreme. Okay, it's not actually called Extreme. Unfortunately, my RTX 3080 Ti is on vacation and will be back after repairs. If you haven't subscribed, Uncle Donkey would very much like you to hit subscribe and afterwards that bell notification. Yes, the bell, so you can get spammed even while you sit on the toilet. I mean, who doesn't want to get a random notification at random times around the clock? It is very nice. So remember to hit the bell notification and you will get unwanted messages all the time. Now let's move on and have a look at the overclock settings. Here you see how to set the extra configuration arguments. It's quite easy actually, and also for the RTX 3050 and RTX 3080 12GB, or else they won't mind TONCOIN. That is the dual intensity specifically. It's set at 20 for the RTX 3050 and 26 for the RTX 3080 12GB. The LHR tunings are also set very low for them at 57. Now let's dive into it because there are some changes as Gminer apparently heats up my GPUs more than usually. First up is the RTX 3050. In HiveOS I locked the core clock at 1500 and set the memory clock to 2200. That is 1100 in Windows. If you are using Windows, simply create a bash file based upon what you see here. Now let's move on and have a look at the overclock settings for the RTX 3060 mining Ethereum and TONCOIN. In HiveOS, I lock the core clock at 1552 and the memory clock to 2600, which is 1300 in Windows. If you're using Windows, simply create a batch file based upon what you see here. Now it's time to have a look at the RTX 3060 Ti with HYNIX memory revision 1. I lock the core clock at 1350 and the memory clock at 2000. That is 1000 in Windows. If you are using Windows, simply create a batch file based upon what you see here. And also, if you have seen these overclock settings before, then note that it's 100 memory clock lower in HiveOS and 50 lower in Windows than usually. Now it's time to have a look at the overclock settings for the RTX 3060 Ti HYNIX memory revision 2 mining Ethereum and TONCOIN. In HiveOS, I lock the core clock to 1500 and set the memory clock to 3200, which is 1600 in Windows. If you are using Windows, simply create a batch file based upon what you see here. Let's move on and have a look at the overclock settings for the RTX 3070 mining Ethereum and TONCOIN. In HiveOS, I lock the core clock at 1125 and memory clock at 2600, which is 1300 in Windows. If you're using Windows, simply create a batch file based upon what you see here. The time has come to have a look at the overclock settings for the RTX 3070 Ti mining Ethereum and TONCOIN. In HiveOS, I lock the core clock to 1050 and the memory clock to 2400, which is 1200 in Windows. If you're using Windows, simply create a batch file based upon what you see here. Let's have a look at the overclock settings for the RTX 3080 10 gigs mining Ethereum and TONCOIN. In HiveOS, I lock the core clock to 1500 and the memory clock to 3400, which is 1700 in Windows. If you're using Windows, simply create a batch file based upon what you see here. Now let's have a look at the final graphic card's overclock settings, well, at least until I get my RTX 3080 Ti back. The RTX 3080 12GB mining Ethereum and TONCOIN. I lock the core clock to 1400 in HiveOS and set the memory clock to 2400, which is 1200 in Windows. If you're using Windows, simply create a bash file based upon what you see here. The time has finally come to have a look at the average reported result. Please note that these are the average reported results and that you have to add the watts from Ethereum and TONCOIN together to get the full watts. Now let's have a look at the average reported result for the RTX 3050. Ethereum 17.3 MHz per second at 47 watts, which gives an efficiency of 0.368. TONCOIN 604.1 MHz per second at 47 watts, which gives an efficiency of 12.853. Now let's have a look at the average reported result for the RTX 3060. Ethereum 36 MHz per second at 67 watts, which gives an efficiency of 0.537. TONCOIN 971.8 MHz per second at 67 watts, which gives an efficiency of 14.504. Now let's have a look at the average reported result for the RTX 3060 Ti HYNIX Revision 1. Ethereum 43.2 MHz per second at 79 watts, which gives an efficiency of 0.547. TONCOIN 1200 MHz per second at 79 watts, which gives an efficiency of 15.190. Please note that it's not actually 1200 MHz per second. They report for some odd reason as soon as it gets up to gigahash, only gigahash without any decimals. So I simply write what they write. And that is of course the same for all graphic cards going forward that are over 1 gigahash. Unfortunately, I don't know if they have rounded up or down. Now let's have a look at the RTX 3060 Ti HYNIX Revision 2. Ethereum 47.5 MHz per second at 92.5 watts, which gives an efficiency of 0.514. TONCOIN 1300 MHz per second and 92.5 watts, which gives an efficiency of 14.054. Now let's have a look at the average reported results for the RTX 3070. Ethereum 44.6 MHz per second at 72 watts, which gives an efficiency of 0.619. TONCOIN 1200 MHz per second at 72 watts, which gives an efficiency of 16.667. And now the average reported result for the RTX 3070 Ti. Ethereum 58.1 MHz per second at 107 watts, which gives an efficiency of 0.543. TONCOIN 952 megahash per second at 107 watts, which gives an efficiency of 8.897. Now let's have a look at the average reported results for the RTX 3080 10 gigs. Ethereum 76 megahash per second at 156 watts, which gives an efficiency of 0.487. TONCOIN 2500 megahash per second at 156 watts, which gives an efficiency of 16.025. And now the final card until I get the RTX 3080 Ti back from repairs, the RTX 3080 12 gigs. Ethereum 56.5 megahash per second at 157 watts, which gives an efficiency of 0.360. TONCOIN 2600 megahash per second at 157 watts, which gives an efficiency of 16.561. Again, please note that you have to add the watts from the Ethereum and TONCOIN together to get the full watts. Now, this is a perfect time for you to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you like my videos and you actually want to help me out, then please share my video and hit the like button. Thank you very much. Let's have a quick look at how it compares to the previous version I tested of Gminer. As we can see here, it actually looks a lot better when it comes to TONCOIN. It's more than double up in many of the cases, almost 3 times the amount. But as far as I understand, it is only reported it should be the exact same at the pool. You will also notice that I actually managed to get the RTX 3050 and the RTX 3080 12 gigs to work in dual mining, which took some fiddling with the intensity of dual mining. Actually, I completely oversaw the setting to start with, but after reading and getting a bit irritating and reading some more, I found it and applied it and fiddled with it for a couple of hours and actually managed to get something that is quite good. Well, quite good for the RTX 3050, not for the RTX 3080 12 gigs. There I would rather just mine Ethereum directly. And completely skipping TONCOIN in this case, as it's quite expensive on the Ethereum part. Now let's compare it against the previous tested version of LOLMINER. It is actually a lot closer now. Note that the Gminer in the vast majority of cases are actually better in Ethereum, but it's also at a higher fee of 1.5 Ethereum versus a fee of 1% overall in LOLMINER. On the TONCOIN side, you'll notice that the LOLMINER pretty much wins throughout. Actually, it does win throughout, but the reason why I say pretty much is because I actually have no idea if Gminer rounded up or down when it comes to the giga hash instead of mega hash. Actually, I have no idea if they even rounded. I assume that they have used a standard way of rounding, but I honestly have no clue. If you are wondering what I've been up to, well, here's a sneak peek.
I will not go into any details what this is about, but as you can see, this is a llama. A very handsome one at that. It's all over the place with the eyes, it's very nice. But you will see what it's all about in due time as soon as I finished up the concept and actually tried it out to see if it total sucks. There is a possibility that I'll just put it all in the trash can anyway. I hope you have enjoyed the video. Please hit like, subscribe and share the video with your neighbor. I hope to see you in the next one.